Hi everyone,
Hi
welcome
guys.
to this week's video. Today we're answering a question that we get more often than you would expect. It's a question about masking fluid. And basically, Julia, do you use masking fluid in your sketches? And okay, so that's the end of the recording. Julia says
Yes.
no.
Guys, we can stop now.
We can stop. Okay, that's it. Guys, you don't need masking fluid for your urban sketches. And there is no reason to use it, right, Julia? Or maybe there's more to it
We
than
can
just
we
a
can
no.
talk about it, I think.
Okay, all right.
Yes. I think I don't use it, and the reason why I don't use it is because I think there is a much easier technique and much easier material to use for to keep your highlights white, or to add white lines to your sketches, for example, and that's gouache.
All right.
Yes,
So if there were a battle between masking fluid and gouache, uh, gouache wins. No
gouache
question
means
that. Yeah?
yes,
All
yes.
right.
At least for me, I think for urban sketching, it always yeah, much easier to it's always much easier to use gouache instead of masking fluid. And I can show you a few examples where I use gouache, where you
Mhm.
yeah, maybe someone would say, why don't you use um masking fluid for this? But I think it's not necessary. Here, for example, I write the text with white gouache, and I didn't want to have it very white, so it's a little bit grayish. But if you want to have it really white, you can just apply a few layers, and then uh, the letters would be really white. So also here, for example, for the curtains, um, you just use gouache, and you can apply it at the end of when you are finishing your sketch, and you know where you exactly want to you know where you want to add the highlights or white lines or white objects exactly. So then it's much easier to you don't need to plan your sketch beforehand, and I think it's much easier to work this way instead of, you make a sketch and you need to plan it, and to know where all these white um, spots will be.
Just to make something clear, when you say gouache, you mean permanent white gouache, right?
Permanent white, yes. We have a video on it where we talk about permanent and zinc gouache, and what we talk about the difference between them, where you can use the one and another. Uh, so, yes, but now I'm talking about permanent white indeed.
And even if you're biggest watercolor fan on earth, we still recommend getting a tube of permanent white gouache
Yes.
to use for highlights and other, well, white bits in your sketches.
Yeah.
So, Julia does not use what's it called, masking fluid for
Masking
her
fluid.
sketch, but she loves a good challenge. And today
Yes.
she will show us a technique for using masking fluid, right?
Yes. If you don't want to use gouache, why you wouldn't use masking fluid? If you have a bottle and you want to try it, I would say, yeah, let's let's do an experiment. Experiment with masking fluid. The reason I don't really like to use it, actually, because it's not a very nice material to use. It's very sticky, and it looks like, I don't know,
So
the
it's not really
color.
white. Yeah,
It's
it's a bit
not,
off
it's not
white.
completely white, and I guess that the reason why it's not white is because you can see it on your paper. Otherwise, it would be very difficult to see
Okay.
it, and you don't know where you apply it. So this is probably the reason. But yeah, it's a little bit like rubber, actually. Um, so, and because it's like rubber, it's very very important not to use your best brush for it, because if you don't wash it out very well, then your brush will be will be ruined, I think. So to how to apply masking tape, masking fluid to your paper, you just put some. By the way, I have here. Yeah, it's a special bottle. You can apply it with this. What do we call a thing like this? Yeah, it's very. Yeah, I don't know. The masking fluid comes from this point then. So, but I don't know. It doesn't work well for me because it gets um, dry in at the end of this point, and then it doesn't work anymore. Um, so okay,
Okay, let's focus on what
forget it.
works, Julia.
I'm sorry.
Let's focus on what works.
Okay, what works is to use a brush, and let's draw a fence, and sometimes we have this objects in our sketches that actually should be white, or they are white, and we want to keep them white in our sketches, but we also want to paint loosely, and that's quite difficult if the lines, or if the objects are very small, or lines are very thin, and we don't want to paint around them. For example, like this fence, it's very important to apply it in a quite thick way, because otherwise it won't work. I think that's enough. And let's add a few horizontal lines like this. And something like this here. Okay, and now I need to clean my brush very quickly. And wait until this is completely dry. And
How long does it usually take to dry?
I think it takes, it depends on the paper, I guess,
Okay.
because when I tried it out on other paper, it took me like 10 minutes, I think. but I think it will be much quicker now. Looks like it's almost dry. I don't know, it depends. But what I wanted to say about this technique is that when we um, if we try to sketch something like this and we try to paint around all these white parts, it would be really very difficult to keep them white, right? Because you would be you would try to paint very carefully and try not to make them um, green or whatever
Your
color.
watercolors are likely to run into those white spaces.
Yes, yes, and
So
it
a
would.
lot of effort, and maybe the result will not be so good anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I think we need a few minutes before it dries.
All right. Well, let's come back in a few minutes when Julia's masking fluid has dried. Okay, the masking fluid is dry and Julia is
Yes.
ready to paint.
Yeah. So now we can apply the colors, the greenery. There will be some greenery behind the fence, and let's apply it like this. Like there is a bush behind it. Of course, a mixture of yellow and blue for greenery.
All right. If you're not sure how to mix greens, we're coming for you. But
Exactly.
no, we've got videos here on YouTube, posts on our blog. If you come to our Instagram pages, you'll see something about greenery too. We've got a greenery adventure in Brave Brushes studio. So we've got you covered if you want to learn how
Absolutely.
to make how to mix greens. But today it's all about masking fluid. And does it feel nice, Julia, to paint without worrying about these white lines?
Yeah, actually it is. Yeah, it yeah, I don't know. It feels like there is a fence. I already know that there should be there. And it is there. Um, I don't know. I actually don't really know if it maybe has some benefits to know that I already have the fence. Maybe for someone it would work better this way.
But you stay loyal to gouache, right?
Probably.
Well, it looks like a fun technique, and the only problem I see with it is that we had to take, well, 10 minutes to wait for the masking fluid to dry.
Yes, I thought it would be shorter, but yeah, it's very important that the masking fluid is completely dry, otherwise it would be a mess. Yeah, now we need to wait until the watercolor is dry. But I think it already looks quite fun,
I
right?
actually like how it turns out, yes, but again, we'll give it a few more minutes and we'll come back here when the paint is dry. Okay, so now the paint is dry and we've
Yes.
come to the best part, the final part, right, Julia?
Yeah, the most exciting one, I think. Yeah, getting rid of the masking fluid, and you need to be sure that your paint is completely dry because otherwise it will be a very big mess. So, and now we can remove it like this. You just do it with your fingertip. And you can see that the paper is absolutely white. Maybe you can do it with an eraser. Probably you can, but I think it's much easier with a finger.
How does it feel? Does it come off easily?
Yeah, yeah, quite easily actually.
Is your finger green now?
No.
This is great. Oh, well, this is a lovely white fence. What can I say? So the
Yeah.
masking fluid did its job.
Yeah, and if we want to, we can also. I think it's actually quite interesting to add some shadows to it and to
Right.
refine the lines.
Yeah, so the masking fluid is just one tiny bit, one tiny ingredient of a
Yes,
beautiful sketch. You still have to do all the other work, right? The shadows, the textures, and everything else.
yes.
All right. Well, thank you, Julia. It's been fun as always. And we do hope
Hopefully
to
useful.
see, we do hope to see more masking tape in your masking fluid in your sketches, just for the fun of it and for a change. We know you're going to stay loyal to gouache, and
I will.
gouache is going to stay loyal to you.
I hope so.
Well, we've got lots of videos about gouache and watercolors on our YouTube channel, so please check them out. And remember that the best way to learn from Julia is in Brave Brushes Studio, our membership for artists and urban sketchers. Go to bravebrushes.com to learn more, and we'll see you next week.